All right, so I'm intermittent fasting today, so I'm 20 minutes away from when I can eat, so I'm pissed off, which is probably good for this take, because we should all be pissed off about what I'm about to tell you about. There's a column that ran a week or so ago, written by Isaac Bailey, a columnist for McClatchy, which means it appeared in multiple newspapers across South Carolina. McClatchy owns about 5 South Carolina newspapers while it's in business. Hopefully that'll change. They've been losing a lot of revenue lately, and with Crown commentary and clown takes like the one that Bailey published last week, I suspect they'll be losing more revenue. This column basically attacked investigators in law enforcement in officer-involved shootings. Basically accused them of rubber stamping innocence in these cases and of conducting, quote, phony investigations. Now, Bailey, as a journalist, did he offer anything in support of that assertion? Any examples, any evidence, any proof, or anything resembling proof? Anything resembling something which would lead him to a reasonable conclusion that his premise is accurate? No. He did actually include 2 examples of officer-involved shootings, but the problem with the examples that he cited were that they completely disproved the narrative that he's peddling. In one of those cases, a 52-year-old black police officer from the town of Hemingway, South Carolina, was criminally charged with manslaughter following an officer-involved shooting in which she clearly did not appropriately use deadly force. She was charged criminally. And in the second incident that Bailey discussed, there has been no finding yet because the investigation is still underway. The incident happened less than a month ago, 3 weeks ago, as a matter of fact. That investigation is currently underway. And what makes it even worse is that Bailey admitted in his column that he knew nothing about the facts of either case. In fact, he admitted that he had forgotten about the first case in which the female officer was charged, and that he knew nothing about the facts of the second case. But based on that professed ignorance, he decided to take a swipe at the integrity of all of these law enforcement investigations. And of course, it threw the the race card into the mix too, because Bailey views everything through the prism of race. It's a joke. Yeah, that's why people don't buy those papers anymore. Bailey and I agree on one thing, though. Cops should not escape or evade consequence for bad acts, especially acts which result in people dying. And that's why this news outlet for years has pushed for transparency involving such incidents. That's why we have pushed for years to get rid of the exemptions in the Freedom of Information Act, which allow law enforcement agencies to withhold critical video evidence from these shootings. And it's why, by the way, we have praised the law enforcement agencies which released that evidence immediately. Now, that's to protect the public, people, because we deserve transparent, independent investigations anytime a police officer uses deadly force. But guess what? That transparency is also necessary to defend police officers from the sort of ignorant, dangerous commentary that Isaac Bailey spewed on the pages of the state newspaper and all the other McClatchy newspapers in South Carolina. Here's free advice from Mr. Bailey. If you don't know what you're talking about, you admit you don't know what you're talking about it, maybe keep your mouth shut. Here at FITSNews, when we weigh in on something, we know what we're talking about, and we will provide you with the facts to back it up.